Hey, what's going on, y'all? Back with the Heat for the Streets, man. It's AK Showtime. Look, um, well, I made this quick video, bruh, about a topic that I discussed about a few days ago on a Facebook thread. Um, I want your opinion on one thing because I'm looking at the LA Rams, right? And ever since they inserted Jared Goff in the lineup for Case Keenum, uh, he's looked pretty impressive. Didn't throw a touchdown his first game against Miami, although he did kind of protect the 10-point lead till his defense lost it. And he didn't throw an interception either. And he threw 3 touchdowns against the Saints, albeit in the losing effort. But he did throw 3 touchdowns. And I know everybody will be like, oh, it's the Saints defense. Don't put too much stock in it. But at the same time, 3 touchdowns for a rookie is 3 touchdowns, bro. I mean, you can say, oh, look at Dak Prescott and, my guy Dak Prescott. And what he doing right now? You can say, look at a lot of rookie quarterbacks that's starting right now, but this guy hasn't started really a game up until last week, for real, or a couple weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? He didn't play, you know, 8 weeks or at least 6 out of the, you know what I'm saying? He didn't play for the past 5 weeks, 6 weeks, so you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So you can't compare him um, to Cody Kessler. You can't compare him to Dak Prescott. You can't compare him to even guys, you know what I'm saying, that hadn't gotten a lot of play time. You can't compare him to those guys. But I'm looking at Jared Goff and he's looking real good or whatever. And obviously Jeff Fisher is his coach. And from the stories that we heard about Jeff Fisher going into the draft, he didn't want him. And this reminds me of the Vince Young situation in Tennessee. And I want your opinion on Vince Young's career. Because I was talking to somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was commenting on Facebook with me and a whole bunch of other people. Um, and I had mentioned Vince Young's name, and somebody said, LOL, Vince Young, ha ha ha, whatever. And I said, Vince Young was a winner. Vince Young was a winner in Texas. He won his first, you know what I'm saying, couple of years in Tennessee. He won a majority of his games in Tennessee. He won a couple playoff games, matter of fact, before Jeff Fisher, you know what I'm saying, ultimately sabotaged them and benched them for Curry bum-ass Collins, you know what I'm saying, who at that point was about 33, 34 at the time, like right around 2007, 2008, and around like 2009, that's when he became a full-time starter, and Vincent was on the bench. And they proceeded to go 0-5 to start the season with arguably the worst performance I've ever seen from a fucking NFL team when they got buried in Foxborough, literally buried in the fucking snow by Tom Brady and the Patriots, and they put 55 on them. I think they won like 55 to like 7 or some shit. And Jeff Fisher had had no choice but to go back to Vince Young. And Vince eventually, I think they was like 0-5, 0-6 at that point, and Vince proceeded to win 5 straight. And everybody was like, oh, Vince back. You know what I'm saying? Vince back. He had like a game winner. He had like a last second touchdown to beat the Cardinals and Matt Leinart. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of college quarterbacks going head to head in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, with Winston and Mariota. Vince Young and Matt Leinart went toe to toe in college, and then they went toe to toe, I think once or twice, in the NFL with Vince winning both of the times that they played. Um, But Vince Young won like 60 something percent of his games, I think it was. He had like a 60 or 70 win and like 30 something loss or like 20 something loss of record as a starter. I don't know his completion percentage. I can look that up and get back to that on another video. I know he got a lot of touchdowns passing, rushing. He was a better thrower than a lot of people thought he was. He was excellent in the pocket. He had a strong arm. He was mobile. He could see the field. And everybody was like, oh, he can't read defenses. He would take off and run a lot. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, I think that was mostly off of instinct. Like, everybody said that about Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick is actually a very good passer. And we're seeing that now under Chip Kelly. He's actually been passing the ball very well. He ain't just taking off and running. He wasn't just taking off and running with hardball. It was just that he was so good at it that, you know what I'm saying, just like in that playoff game in San Francisco when they beat Green Bay in the playoffs in, like, I think it was, 2013? It was either 2012 or 2013 that they beat them. He was just so good at it. He just did it off of natural instinct because he could. Kind of like Mike Vick. You know what I'm saying? But Vince was a very good pocket passer. A lot of people don't understand that. When he was at Texas, man, he really could throw from the pocket. He could throw deep. He could throw intermediate routes. He could throw down the middle to a tight end. He could do a lot of things. And if only he had some help. I remember when they drafted Kenny Britt, he was supposed to be the guy, but he kept getting hurt. I mean, I can't even really name a lot of the receivers. I mean, Justin Hunter. I mean, come on now, Kenny Britt. I think they even had Algie Crumpler for a cup of coffee. I mean, goddamn, and that wasn't even the Atlanta Algie Crumpler. That was old ass, could barely run, could still catch a little bit Algie Crumpler. You know what I'm saying? But Vince was a nice quarterback, and I see this trend going on with a lot of black quarterbacks that they say, oh, they can't read defenses, they can't do this, they can't do that. Said the same thing about Colin Kaepernick when he was getting hot. Said the same thing about Vince Young. Said the same thing about Mike Vick. Oh, they not accurate. They run first guys. Said the same thing about a lot of old school quarterbacks, and Doug Williams proved that wrong when he torched the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl, throwing like 4 touchdowns in like the first half. That's why I'm happy we got dudes like Dak Prescott breaking the mold, you know what I'm saying, or shattering the mold. Russell Wilson, you know what I'm saying. Even though he's mobile, he can pass. He can really pass from the pocket. I'm glad we got dudes like that. Tyrod Taylor, this a dude that was a backup in Baltimore for like 3-4 years, and when he got his shot in Buffalo, he completed 70% of his passes last year. So enough with this. Oh, these motherfuckers ain't accurate. Oh, they run first guys. They quarterbacks, you know, who just happen to be mobile, who just happen to be very, very good at it, who just happen to be very, very good at running. Tyrod Taylor is very mobile. Russell Wilson is very mobile. Dak Prescott is mobile. He ain't as mobile as those other two, but he can move. He can really, really move. Mike Vick could move, you know what I'm saying? Donovan McNabb was a very good pocket passer. He didn't want to run, you know what I'm saying? He didn't want to be known as a mobile quarterback. He wanted to pass on the pocket. I thought he should have ran a little bit more. Steve McNair was mobile, you know what I'm saying? But he was a very good pocket passer. You know what I'm saying? So enough with this bullshit about, oh, black quarterbacks can't read defenses. They can't do this from the pocket. I mean, it's been plenty of examples of dudes. Shit. I remember Dante Culpepper used to be a motherfucking beast. For like 3-4 years, that man was turning the fucking league up, dog. Him and Randy Moss. It's turning the fucking league up, dog. Even after Chris Carter left. Because I think he played with Chris for like a couple years, and then Chris went to like Miami, and then he retired. And then him and Randy was turning shit up. It's been plenty of examples, dog, of college quarterbacks making it in the NFL and really making their mark. I mean, I just look at golf and it just reminds me of the whole Vince Young situation. Oh, Jeff Fisher ain't won them. And then he showed that he actually pretty good. And, you know, I mean, I just hope he don't get sabotaged like Vince. Because Vince got a really, 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 really bad rap in the NFL. They thought he was mentally soft. They thought he was, one dimensional. They thought he was. I mean, it was all a lie. I mean, but what do y'all think though? What do y'all think about Vince Young's career, man? Do y'all think he got a bad rap? Do y'all think that looking at the landscape of quarterbacks that we got now, especially the dudes in college like Deshaun Watson, Deshaun Kaiser, Lamar Jackson, who might win the Heisman, do y'all think black quarterbacks get a bad rap?